Tapping in there. It's real late in LA. And this is the Life and Times Network of Music and Men podcast, episode 2 with my guest. No, not my guest. My co-host, Big Dre, not the little one. Dr. Dre? We don't know. It's Dre. He's on the side. He got the merch on. He's repping our side of town. Don't mess with us. We're tough. Now, how you been, man? You don't think we're tough, bro?
I'm good.
I see you took the glasses off. This is getting sick. He said, we talking rap today, dog. I'm taking the glasses off, dog.
I'm a civilian.
You gotta know what I'm about.
No, it's cool. I took the glasses off and I took the beanie off. I got a haircut, so it's better now.
Oh, you started flexing.
I was bluffing last week. Yeah, no, I couldn't do that.
Now we seen the episode, Dre. We got the downloads up. First episode of our podcast got 53 downloads. We're almost like 3-4K on YouTube. People want to tap in there. How are you feeling about J. Cole on this beach, bro?
I love it. I love that for him. I love that for him. And no, that's a personal. That is a personal W for me. Just because, like, listen, there are some hills. Everyone's got to down a hill, and some hills are harder to die on than others until you get to the other end of the rainbow. When J. Cole apologized, and I stood and bad on that hill, and I was like, "This is the right move," and everyone was like, "He's whack. He's whack.
That's
he's
not
scared.
hip-hop.
Yeah, that's not hip-hop." And I'm like, y'all. I was like, y'all don't see farther. Everybody now, like, yo, J. Cole's really the winner, and it's like, you weren't there. You weren't there in the beginning, and it was hard to.
You wasn't there at Forest Hill Drive, okay?
Yeah,
you wasn't at Forest Hill Drive. You wasn't with RDC and them, bro. hey, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Seeing J. Cole on the beach after everything that's happened, like there was just a war during rap. Like it was a civil war of rap last weekend. This weekend feels peaceful and calm.
Yeah, it's over.
You know, it's over. Everybody's okay. There were no casualties yet.
I was gonna say,
right. I mean, things are happening.
Things are happening.
People haven't said shit about shit, but you know, it's like, nah, man, I want the beef. I'm never gonna talk about anything else. Like, that's a little spooky. But, shout out J. Cole on the beach, man. Listen, when we last got off the podcast, we had all the disses. We talked about them all,
right?
And then Drake dropped directly after we got off. Now, it's the Heart Part 6. He steps on Kendrick Lamar's series. Okay, so next time he does the Heart Part 6, Drake is gonna pop up before he does. That's gonna be sick work. That's some sick work right there.
Said I'm beating you in the search results.
Now I'm your Heart Part. That's some sick shit. Angry poetry all summer. I mean, first of all, like just to break it down on my side, I give it a flat 6, maybe a 5.5. It's all right. The bars were all right. But it actually reaches the 7-8 realm if you care to talk about the allegations that he disavowed, right? Like, that's all we needed to hear. No, I'm not like this. I disavowed that. I should be arrested if I was to do those things. Cool. Some of the lines were like, what the fuck? Should have went over them a couple times. But that's why we get it in the 5.5, 6 range because of the lines. And then, like, people were saying he was waving a white flag. He said this come with facts.
Yeah, that's like,
that was it.
For points wise, I give it a 7. Simply off the fact that, as you said, the bars were whatever. The main point of that message was solely, hey, I'm willing to address and it depends how you look at this. Some people are like, well, if you're guilty, if you bringing it up makes you look guilty, and other people have the perspective, well, if you haven't done anything, you don't need to talk on it, right? So you literally have the opposing. Well, Drake
lose.
So Drake's speaking on it, and people are like, well, he's only speaking on it because he's trying to defend himself. But then you have the other instance where Kendrick's not speaking on stuff, and people are defending him for not speaking on it. Well, he didn't do it, so you don't got to talk about it. So it doesn't matter what you do. People are going to be like, you know, they're going to have their opinions and they're going to have their biases. I think
semantics.
I think it was good that he addressed it. Was the delivery of the way he addressed it great? It depends. Like I heard people saying, like in the same song, you have two opposing sides. Drake's talking about, I'm too rich to be touching young kids, and people are like, bro, you're out of touch. You know what year it is? 2024. The rich people are the ones doing what they're doing. But in that same exact song, he mentions Millie Bobby, and they're like, well, why'd you mention her name? And it's like, well, do you want him to be aware or not, right? He knows everyone on the internet's bringing up Millie Bobby Brown, so he addresses it. If he doesn't say her name, y'all going to say he's running from the allegation of her. There's really no win with the situation, but he did speak up, and that's
I
something
do
I
like
wish Kendrick would have did.
just another side of the Drake thing. First and foremost, rich people are getting caught up for that shit. Okay,
Absolutely.
so like I don't think like we're living in Me Too culture. We're living in 2024. You can't do what you used to do. If there was a track record of that type of shit, it would have been out and about. So when he says he's too big for that, I think he's a highly publicized person. If he was to do that, people want people like him to go down anyway. It's hunting
Right.
season for people like
They
that.
would have put the
You
evidence
know,
out to get
they
him.
would have put the evidence to get out. So like being big isn't a way out, and it isn't a way into that lifestyle. And I'm glad he like said something about these allegations. They're pretty heinous. Kendrick doesn't say anything. I think honestly, I think people are cool with it. If it's real, people are cool with it.
With the
Because
Kendrick
like
allegations?
yeah, man, people are cool with the Kendrick allegations. I think they're cool with it. I'm
Yeah, no,
not.
they're still gonna support, and it's like, even because take this, like, not defending Drake,
Mhm.
the pedo allegations that Drake is talking against, as he said, if there's evidence of me touching someone under 18, right, like y'all would have got, and obviously there's that video of that girl on stage and stuff like that,
She
but
also came out later.
oh, okay, so yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
even tune into
new
that.
information. Yeah, she came in later on. She's in law school now. She's like, yo, I was 12 hours, and this is no grace for Drake or anything, but
Right,
she was 12 hours from turning 18. She told his staff she was 18, and then the video happened.
right,
But
right,
it
right.
doesn't
There's
matter.
no grace because even after he told
Yeah,
Drake's response to her saying her age was
yeah,
creepy, and like I said, there's no defense to Drake because Drake has a come out tendency of giving behavior that he shouldn't for someone his age to people who are younger. So there's
for
that. Like,
sure.
whether he's talking about I ain't never did nothing, sure, you can play with the wordplay. Sure, Drake, you haven't done anything, but your intentions towards people in that range and how
Yeah,
old you were are not great. So like you're already outed yourself with that. But I do think you're right with people could be like people will forgive Kendrick if these domestic abuse
oh
allegations are
yeah,
right. People will forgive
they're
him.
cool with it. They're cool with it. I really think people are cool with it, and that's a whole different thing, right? That's a whole different thing. I think I don't even want to like talk too bad on West Coast. I live in West Coast. Shout out to West Coast. But like, there's a lot of aspects of this beef that are reminiscent of things that echoed in hip hop before.
Mhm.
Jay-Z had some weird shit going on with Aaliyah when she was young. And he's the quote unquote biggest rappers. Dr. Dre has allegations about beating women. West Coast guy. So like there's some echoes of what's going on that's happened before. History is one big history book. I mean, no,
Mhm.
rap is one big history book.
Yeah.
So it always plays itself again. Hopefully he tightens up. I mean, like everybody's doing crisis management, both sides. Especially, I think Drake has to do it because he's just bigger and like
True.
the contracts, the money, the deals, all that shit is like, yo, bro, is that true? You gotta say it's not true. You gotta tell people this and that. You gotta address shit.
Do you
You
think
gotta
it's
talk to
real that
people.
they Universal told Kendrick to apologize?
Nah,
No.
nah. And even if they told him to apologize, he wouldn't
He
apologize.
would.
He
He
wouldn't
would
apologize.
shoot everything he
Yeah.
would have done prior would go right in the grave if he were to apologize.
Oh, if he did, like if I found out like he agreed to something like that, I don't want to hear this authenticity argument ever again. And it's
Huh.
kind of weak when we seen him go and do rap tracks with pop artists. like the Bad Blood song is probably top 5 trash singles from Kendrick I ever heard in my life. Um let's rate this beef though, 1 to 10. How do you feel about the beef, man? It was a great weekend. Nobody could go to sleep.
No, it was, and yeah,
They held
the
us
drops were
hostage.
good. I my personal, like, without, like, besides the number, I hate to
Mhm.
like it, right? So
Yeah,
my part of that is like we got some great music, and we've talked about this last week. Great music. I want to be able to enjoy and share this music without what it's being tied to. I want to be able to play
yeah.
Family Matters and Not Like Us without having to rap lines about calling another
So
great rapper a pedophile. Like this, it's
that
super
yeah.
crazy
So like I'm not really listening to Not Like Us, bro. Just because of the content, right?
of it.
The content of it. I mean, even like I'm not bumping Family Matters. Like I see people like bumping that shit at the gym. That's crazy. That's a crazy playlist. It's full of homophobia.
No, it's wild. No,
like,
it's
like,
wild.
like just the like some of the lines and everything like that. I'm like on all their tracks and all of them. It's some crazy shit. Like, and I'm like, all right, guys. I don't know. It's not the most mature thing to listen to. It's not the best thing to consume. It's a great era of beef, but it's already spurring some shit. You already see the other people crashing out
Oh
on the beef
yeah,
tip. Like two shorties are JT and Sukiani are beefing now. The Game and Rick Ross are beefing. The
are
Game put out a
beefing.
The
Jeez.
Game put out a whole track. I mean, listen, it's a great track, but
I mean,
like
yeah, the Chris Brown and Quavo. So like everyone just on the outlier is like, well, this is
that's
my time
the
to hop in.
Soldier Boy just came out with some shit. This is recent. Like this just happened. He's going at Metro Boomin. He said some wild shit. You know, his mom passed. He said some shit about his mom.
Mojo the
Metros.
Metros. Crazy.
Metros. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's where we're at. Like, but Metro is just putting a bunch of memes out about Drake and made a
Hey, you
hashtag
know what?
BBL Drizzy.
Actually,
That energy comes back.
Metro wins the beef.
Yeah.
Because bro just spawned a worldwide spare bomb. He said, "Here's a beat, go ham." I went on Spotify, right? And I went on Spotify and I typed in BBL Drizzy just to see what
BBL
showed
Drizzy.
up. Spotify looked like SoundCloud at this point. The amount of songs, there's just a playlist of people remixing BBL Drizzy. And
Yeah.
all bro did was put out a beat. So I'm like, you know what, Metro, Drake told you to make some drums and you did it. And
Hey.
fire.
But I mean, listen. Now Metro got his old tweets popped up. Now everybody's calling him Metro grooming.
Yeah,
So like,
no one's safe.
You can't play this internet game, and that's why I tell people like the internet game is nobody really wins. Nobody's clean, and people on the internet just want a W. Like I see grown men with families say, "Yo, I'm the biggest Drake hater." Like in the comment section, I'm like, "You got a family? Like that's what you wake up and do?" That, but I digress. Right? Like I never thought that, and I was talking to somebody else. Like within Black culture, it's not cool to be a hater
At all.
And the people saying, "Yo, I'm a Drake hater." Like there's memes being made and shit like that. I'm like, bro, that's when it's not of the culture. It's just people around it. Like they're just like, I wouldn't say flies, but they're not really of what they're talking about. Because if you're in the culture, to call yourself a hater and be proud of that shit is corny as fuck.
Which is crazy, but when we gotta talk about influence, Kendrick made it fun and cool. It's cool to be a Drake hater.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, that whole "I hate the way you talk, you walk." That's the funniest shit ever.
You know what that reminded me of? The Naruto thing where they were like that Tory Lanez did a sample of when he was like, "Your hair whack." Yeah. That was just like that.
I think he's also referencing a DMX interview on the Breakfast Club when he was talking shit about Drake. He's like, "I don't like the way he talk. I don't, this and that." Rest in peace, man. Hey, listen, I respect real energy. Like, if I don't like you, I don't like you, and I don't want you to act like you do. Now, do you think it's over?
Yeah. Oh yeah. As you said, they're going on crisis management. They got too much stuff to try to clean up right now. Like, there's no room to further. Obviously they got to still promote their albums that are going to come out. They'll promote the music and stuff, but like as far as these, I think if they stay silent, which is what they'll probably try to do for some things, we'll forget about it. The world's going to forget about the fact that Drake was called a pedophile in about 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, people don't. It doesn't really matter anymore. It's not as funny. Like it's other shit going on.
Right.
Fans will be fans. I've seen the worst and the best from people in this whole shit, like this whole Kendrick Drake shit, like the comic session and people saying the most vile shit in there, like just like this internet culture thing is really for the people who can't say some shit in your face, Like I was never from that ilk. Like if I had an issue or a problem with somebody, they'll know first. Like I'm not gonna get online and say something to them
because it's a safe space, right? You can sneak this, you can do whatever you got to do.
People do a lot
crazy.
when they feel safe. People do a lot when they feel safe. I just don't like. I can't respect it. You gotta watch yourself on that shit because there was a dude, and this is like from something else, right? Like this dude was talking shit about another guy, and he worked at Starbucks, but the guy printed out what he said and came to his job, and he got fired. So like,
Yeah,
You
the
know,
internet's
you
not a
gotta.
safe spot.
It's not a safe spot. Like if I went and did that, did the information and didn't come to your crib, you know, like
Like, did you say this? Like, did
this
you?
is you. This is you. All right, crazy work. Kendrick's dominating the charts. Okay, he getting his number one with "Not Like Us."
Uh,
Um, he's on there. What I think he has 4 or 5 spots with the like all his disc records combined. So
Mm-hmm.
like we have to shout out to Drake for the collab, right?
It's it's a collab album. If you go on
We-
Spotify right now and look at the top 10 played songs, you're gonna see a collab album with Drake and Kendrick just right
That's
there.
what I'm saying. Like, listen, I had some Kendrick fans. They've been DMing me, telling me things, just like, yeah, he beat him in the numbers too. I'm like, listen, man, we all love Good Kid, Mad City, but it wasn't up there when he wasn't talking about Drake. You have to. The subject matter matters.
People
Like
care what he's
it
talking
matters.
about, and his best hits and numbers in recent years is gonna be him talking about Drake.
Yeah, and that's attached forever. He's gonna have to like tour with that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it's just a funny energy to have, right? Like you have this issue with this guy, but now he's forever attached to you.
All
Same
right.
thing with like Rick Ross. Like he was at a show in Miami. He's like, let Drake sing this part. I'm like, bro, you
I'm seeing his clips and stuff, and I'm like,
yeah.
you, as you said, it's gonna be attached to your name. And now when people bring you up, it's like, oh, next time we bring up Rick Ross, it's gonna be, are you still beefing with Drake? It's gonna be this. It's gonna be hard to separate. Oh, Kendrick will find a way. But for a lot of these
Oh, for
people to
sure.
separate yourself from the thing that people only care about to talk about you now because of this beef or this whatever you got.
I
You're
mean,
supposed to be an artist. They're not talking about your art. We're not talking about Rick Ross music. We're talking about your beef with Drake because that's more relevant than you at the moment.
they did it to Pusha T pretty hard. Like
Mm-hmm.
after the beef and everything like that, like he Drake won a Grammy, they did like focus in on him and shit like that. Like it was a wild little time, and like he's still he's forever attached to Drake now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can go on tour off Drake haters. That's how big of an act this guy is. So like it's a wild undertaking. Now Drake has just passed the Beatles on Billboard for longest there, far as
Okay.
weeks on Billboard, 3,000 plus, I believe. So Drake is always going to win the longevity battle with a lot of people. I don't think if Kendrick dropped this much, he could be in that conversation, but he hasn't.
But he doesn't. And I
And
don't think he wants to.
I
So
don't think
there's
he
that.
wants to. So like longevity, he's gonna win that all the time. I feel like Drake is more like the LeBron. You know, Kendrick could be Kobe. He got some chips, but you know,
Yeah, there's gonna be people who have that opinion, but the person putting up the numbers and staying in there is gonna win in the long game, and that does happen to be Drake. And like I said, the worst part of this beef is not to say that it sucks because like if these things are real, like these things need to be talked about. So like I'm
oh
glad
no,
they came to light.
yeah.
But for music, because this is what people care about, right? They care about, well, what are we doing for culture? What are we doing for people? Okay, well, this isn't that great for, and in some aspects, this may not turn out that great the way people think. Like it's gonna be fun to trash on Drake and do all this other stuff like that. Um,
When the
but
clash happens, which is gonna happen,
mhm.
people are gonna be on tour. People are gonna be moving around other cities like Kendrick in Toronto. That's gonna be some shit. Drake
Or
in
Drake's
LA
gonna go
still.
back to Cali. Yeah, Drake's gonna go back to Cali. Like
Drake's gonna go back to Cali with like 50 dudes. Like it's gonna be wicked, bro. I
people
already
are not gonna be happy
people
that
are
he's
not
there.
gonna and he's gonna be moving heavy as he should.
Yeah, I mean,
And listen, somebody gonna crash out, somebody gonna get crashed.
people already trying it. Like we didn't really talk on it, but like
Oh
outside of the
yeah,
music,
yeah.
people
Somebody got
getting
popped in front of Drake Kid.
his security guard
Somebody
got
got popped.
shot. Somebody tried to break in. I heard didn't really look into it. Something happens like the weekend, maybe the weekend
Yeah,
manager or
yeah, yeah. The
something.
Weeknd's manager out in LA, his security got popped a couple weeks before Drake's security got popped. So that might be tension between them, Toronto beef, but like it's gonna spill over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure people on Drake's staff been with him for a while, right? So that's real blood in the streets. Like regardless, he's okay. He made it through.
Right.
Everybody's all right, but like that's gonna be a real tension. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been paying attention to like people who are part of his crew and shit. They all moving with some energy, and like Kendrick's people are moving with some energy too. So like when they get like that, what you gonna do, right?
Man, but that's what people
Want to say
So I had to say
RIP and shit like that.
people wanted that, right? They're like, oh, this is the best beef since Pac and
Mm-hmm.
Biggie, right? But we just somehow forgot how that ended, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we wanted a repeat of this, and I also, that's why I respect Cole backing out. I think it takes a little bit of depth and a little removal of pride to be like, I see where this could end, not where it's at right now. If this has the potential for this, I don't want parts of it. I feel like that's what he did. But everyone else is just looking at it like you said, oh, this is fun. This is entertaining. All this bad
Yeah.
stuff going on in the world. I need a distraction. Okay, but when it gets super bad, people get shot. Now what?
Yeah, it's no real excuses, man. People gonna die outside. I mean, we come from that. Like, if it's tension, it's tension. So like, I knew shit was gonna be serious after somebody got hurt. Somebody got hurt. I hope nothing happens, but somebody already got hurt. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta go into Kendrick not saying, like, we talked about it a little bit, but like Kendrick hasn't said anything about any of the allegations at all. His wife hasn't said anything. Family members haven't said anything. PR team hasn't said anything. And I can't dance to Not Like Us or Euphoria or listen to these tracks if these dudes are doing this shit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I don't know what's going on in the situation as far as Kendrick and his shorty, but
Mm-hmm.
like, if everything good or isn't as what we seem, right?
It's
Or
easy to
isn't it,
speak up.
it's easy to speak up. Why don't you just take a picture or use it as the cover for a disc? It had been over. The whole beef would have been over. And he couldn't do that throughout
Right.
the
You talking
whole
about
thing.
meet the Grams. We could have been meeting your family. We could have
Yeah,
been
why
having a
we haven't meet
conversation.
them? Meet the Lamars. We haven't met the Lamars at all. You know, shit's a little weird. I think it's some real shit going on there. Maybe he was emotionally or mentally abusive. Something happened.
And as far as that, like as far as some of the other allegations regarding his family, like is Dave Free really his?
Oh, that's
And
wild.
and listen, look. First off, that was a
Crazy
bar,
work.
right? If your GM is your your
Yeah.
BM secret BD, that was fire. But I don't know if that was true, but it was catchy and it was good to put in the song. And
Oh no, wait. That breeding resentment line was crazy. Like, all right, let's just go back to Heart Part 6 because we need to talk about, like, he said the most greasiest shit in this shit so far.
what?
Like, Drake said some real greasy shit in that track. That's why I can't listen to it like that.
Hmm.
He was like making fun of him being possibly molested, talking about Mariah Carey touched my body, he get nervous. Like
Yeah,
that
no, that was crazy
that's
work.
some
That was
shit,
crazy
bro.
work.
That was crazy work.
Uh,
I couldn't believe he, and like people let that come out the booth, but fuck.
they let it come out, and everyone. But here's the thing too, and this is what I'm talking about the bias of it, where people were like, "Yo, Drake, you went too far."
Oh
It's like,
yeah. What are you talking about?
did we not listen to some of Kendrick's other stuff? Like
Wait,
we talk
wait, wait,
about
wait,
the homophobia and all the other stuff. We talk about people touching kids
wait,
and all this, but y'all talking
bro,
about Drake going too far.
bro. They said Drake going too far. The first bar in Meet the Grams, they are Adonis. Like, what are you talking about, bro? I remember y'all Kendrick fans was conflicted, bro. Y'all wilding, bro.
They're like, yeah, he just sent him a letter to his kid. That was okay to you?
That
We
was good.
addressing children? Like
Yo, Drake's
that's
kid got
not
to deal
okay.
with like all these letters from angry poets that his dad is angered throughout
You
the
have to
years.
grow up
It's
and deal with the
crazy.
fact that you have secondhand hate from grown
Yeah.
adults because
I'll never forget Pusha T taking generational wealth from Adonis, bro. that's that's
kill the
some
deal.
crazy work.
Kill the deal. But that's the thing too.
Crazy
It's
work,
like,
bro.
who is this really good for? We're talking about, oh, we're good for the culture. What? As long as one person getting pushed down is good for the culture?
Bro,
Because you could be next. If we're all okay banding together to push him down, who's going to stand up for you when
well,
everyone band together to
it
push you
gets
down?
back to the crab in a barrel mentality, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this is why I don't like this whole 20 versus 1 thing with the Drake beef and everything because it's reminiscent of the crab in a barrel. Even the questioning his blackness and all the factors he was attacked by really represents what's going on within the culture, right? Like, we have to stop equating struggle to blackness. Like, it's not that. Like,
Right.
it's really not that. And I don't really respect that anymore. Like, I don't plan on, nor do I want my kids to experience the things I grew up experiencing. Like, nobody should. It's not cool. Like it's not cool, bro. And the people who lived throughout that shit are all messed up. Look at this cat, bro. Mid pod. Cedric, you gotta go. Look at this guy. Okay, I'm gonna have to pick him up. Yeah, I gotta pick you up, bro. Meowski. Sorry, I got an editor, bro. It's all good. Tap in. Life and Times Network. Now, I really don't respect that stuff because it goes to a dark and dangerous area within the black community. Like, can we just be successful? Like, like every successful black person, there's always some motif, some narrative, something to degrade them or
Right.
lower them. I've never not seen it, and it's like, why?
And there's
You
already
know?
too many people who don't look like us that are going to do it. Now, once again, the if you take away the allegations with the minors, that's serious. You take that away, I don't care about none of the other stuff y'all said about Drake. I don't care about y'all
Yeah,
talking about him being light skin. I don't care that y'all saying he got ghostwriters. Like none of
yeah.
that stuff is relevant. Rick, y'all talking about y'all slept with his baby mom. Like no one cares about that. Like
Nobody
all of that
cares about
stuff
that, bro.
is useless information, especially since he slept with your baby mom too. So
That's crazy work.
that none of
Yo,
that.
wait. Did anybody tap ASAP? He's like, yo, remember they had a relationship. It's pretty
Like, did
public.
you you? Why would they let you say that on track? Because
No,
that's
like they
not a
got that
flex,
song
bro.
together. And they got that song, work, work, work.
That's
You
not a
remember that?
flex,
Like,
bro. Because he slept
that's
with your
some
baby
crazy
moms
shit,
first.
bro.
But yeah,
First,
none of
bro.
that stuff matters. And y'all really just came together and was like, he's on top. It's not gone nowhere. He's getting better deals than us. All this is going around. He got too much power in place for different things in the industry. We need him put down. When really, it sounded like a skill issue. Because if y'all all had the opportunity to be in that place, and we're talking about people who started in the industry equally before him or
Same
at
time.
the same time, y'all all had the same exact chance.
Yeah.
So
I don't really respect that. I mean, the Kanye thing is weird as fuck. Right? Rick Ross thing is already goofy. Kendrick thing is goofy too. Like, ASAP thing is goofy as well. Because like when Kendrick jumped out the window with Control, he didn't tell nobody.
right.
He was just on tour. He was just on tour. We was all good.
Everyone's fine. All of a sudden, I'm
I'm
over all
trying
of
to
y'all.
murder you. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
like
whoa.
and that's what people too. It's like, okay, well, how far back do we want to say like what can we say sparked the beef, right? Is it like that? Is it first person shooter? Is it
Nah,
Control?
bro.
Like
It goes all the way back to
where are we?
Control.
So you're saying
It goes
Control
to
would be
it
the
goes to
initial?
Control and then the BET freestyle.
Mm,
It's been lit since then. It's been lit since then. After Control, then it was the BET freestyle where he said got the sensitive rapper tucked in his pajama clothes. He's barring them up. I was like, oh, Kendrick, okay. Ha ha. Joke's on you. I'm bulletproof. I remember this stuff. Like,
mm,
so, and this was a young, hungry Kendrick trying to be the top rapper. But like, even with that narrative, you disappeared, in between works. So like
mm-hmm.
he came outside and then dipped. You know what I'm saying?
And
Even
someone
now,
else
like
was out here showing his face every summer.
I don't know what's going to happen. Like far as the contention for, we'll talk more about it. But yeah, it's just a convoluted issue with the crab and barrel mentality that happens within a lot of people. Nobody wants to see anybody successful, and I don't like that because one, I plan on being successful. Two, I feel like my kids will be successful and grow up in an opportunistic environment, and they shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
looked down upon because of that. Like that's crazy to me. You mad I'm not struggling? That's crazy. Like there was some dude said Drake's not hip hop because he doesn't want a helicopter over his crib. He's like, that's another reason why you're not hip hop. I'm like, bro, if I got a mansion, I don't want the helicopter. Why you in
Over
my
my crib.
airspace?
I bought
Why you
this,
in my
paid for it,
airspace,
and
bro?
I'm rich enough to say I paid for it. Like,
Right? Like, I think we got to take away a lot of this complacency within the community, but that's just big me. Now, where do we go from here? You know, we're digging into like music and subject matter that's going to take an ugly turn, and the kids are watching. And what do you think, far as like influence, are they picking up, like the next gen?
um, I don't want to go as far as to say that like we're. I don't want to go as far as to say there's a setback or like we went back. I just think this goes to prove how stagnant things have been. I
Yeah,
don't think things have progressed. Like you said, right? Um, the amount of like you can beef and it can be It can be good sportsmanship level beef, right? It can be, or not beef, but like you can have your disses, and it can be good sportsmanship. You can say, "Oh, that was a good track you made, a good track you made," blah blah blah. But the way people felt comfortable with the personal things they were doing, the shots they were reaching for, it's just letting us know that, hey, like everything is permissible, right?
Mhm.
And so there's no barriers. It's not like, hey, let's not do this, let's not take this too far. Like we can dislike each other. Like what happened to being like, hey, maybe I'm not a fan of this person or I don't like them, but like
Agree to
as
disagree.
colleagues in the space of music, we can still push this industry and help people who are like us because that's what we are using music to do, right? That's out the window now. Like that's it just
Yeah,
shows we never reached the point where we can go and like, I don't like this person. Maybe I don't like the way that I don't like the music they do. I don't like the art they do. Maybe I don't like the way they do business. But this is another person who's a colleague in a space that looks like me, and we're not here to dismantle that, right? Because maybe they're pulling other people, right? People can say, well,
yeah,
Drake's only, helping Canadian or Toronto people and stuff like that. And it's like, but there's still people
that's
that
cat.
look like us that are being brought up and helped, and people that are on his label and stuff like that. And we've already talked about that before. Like as a
Yeah,
label, what Drake's doing with OVO and stuff like that, like they're helping a lot of people or bring these artists in.
I
Um,
mean OVO writes for a lot of people, like just their team over there, like Party Next Door.
Party be working.
His pins all over the place. So shout out to
Party
them boys over
works.
there, OVO.
I can't wait for Division to drop new stuff. Like
Yeah,
he got a
yeah,
team of people and they're doing great
yeah.
things. And so trying to dismantle that, simply because you don't like that one person. There are so many other people in hip hop historically that should have gotten way worse treatment than what y'all are giving Drake prior to the knowledge that we have on Drake now. Like this, I
Yeah,
hate Drake for the past 10 years. It's crazy work. Just comparative to, because y'all just hated him because he was successful. Obviously, now we know there's
yeah,
more reasons to dislike him. That's fine. But as far as how this affects everyone else, like we already talked about, there's a lot more people that are going to continue this or try to get their own, piece in on it. Oh, well, it's time for me to start my beef. And it's just go on the narrative. Oh, well, to be successful, we got to start drama. It's not
yeah.
about the art being good. It's not about the talent. It's not about the networking. As long as we're starting drama, we're going to be
Controversy.
successful. And that's just pushing that narrative.
Have you heard? On a lighter note, have you heard $1 Million Baby?
Love it. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to play
Fantastic,
it enough to remember the lyrics.
fantastic, bro. I was listening to that shit. I start my day with that shit.
It,
After all the beef, I need to cleanse my spirit. Like I needed a existential purity. Like it was too much, man. I was like, wow, these guys don't like each other. Okay, all right, like,
but no,
but
it's
not.
fire.
I really appreciate like singles like this because this is what the summer should be about. And shout out to that song. And it really rolls into, will we get a new big three? Like, who are the
Mm,
candidates to take over for Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, these guys? I mean, Big Sean don't drop enough. ASAP don't drop enough.
nope.
They could have been jockeying for position. They said Chance the Rapper was too happy. Um,
I think
it
also Chance's music is too niche
yeah.
to fill that role.
I feel like
Being
he's mostly
Yeah.
Christian rap now. So like, and that's no knock on Christian rap. It's just that
No, it's just
it's
people
not.
don't want to be positive. It's really
Yeah,
crazy. It's really crazy.
nobody
People don't
likes
want to
the
be positive.
positivity, bro. People want slaughter music. I mean, I don't know. Lil Durk's up there, I guess. Like Lil Durk, 21
So
Savage, but like,
if we had to say to take a big three, right? I would say potentially Little Baby.
nah,
You're not saying it?
don't got the bars. You can't be big three without bars. I just that's my
Um,
quota.
well, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
In our generation, because you couldn't be big
Okay.
three in our
So
generation without bars. Because even if you look at
yeah,
the generations prior to ours, people they consider big three or top would be very different people than what people in our generation would consider. So I think for the newer generation, people who are 21 younger, they're putting Little Baby up there, right?
yeah. I
Because
mean, I
his
don't
reach,
I don't listen to a lot of Lil Baby. I can't cap.
that's
Like,
fine.
I remember when he first came out. I remember that shit. Like, I remember Pure Cocaine. I remember all that shit. Like,
Hmm.
I think he came in too hot. And I've been expecting, and Roddy Ricch has the same issue for me. Like he came in with the box, and I keep expecting the box
Now
for
everything
inherently.
is like
Yeah, I mean, there's
okay.
some
It's
good.
okay.
It's okay, but there's like some great tracks. But like in an album of 20 plus, one great track is not going to save it for me, bro.
It's not you.
And that's
You
no
need a
disrespect.
whole.
Maybe it's not my vibe. Maybe I'm not from West Coast. Da, 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 da. But like that's just not for me.
I think it'll be hard. I think
I got
especially since
Earl in the
these
big
people
three, bro.
in the big
I got
three.
Earl. Yeah, we need a lyricist there, bro.
Okay, and I know you're doing it off of talent, right? I
Yeah,
think you
yeah.
putting
So
it off talent. So I'm including
I
everything:
feel you.
numbers,
Yeah, yeah,
reach, doing
yeah, yeah.
tours, like who can bring. It's like if I wanted to go do an album, I wanted to bring people together. I wanted to do this. Like I have that pull, that weight. Like these are people leading the industry. That's what I'm thinking about. And it's like, well, who can grab people like that? Who has those numbers? Who can
Oh,
pull
then
people
it has to
together?
be Lil Baby. It
That's
has to
so
be
that
Lil
so yeah,
Baby.
so that's what I'm like. He can pull, he can grab people from Atlanta, he can grab
Who
people from
else?
the
Oh,
West.
what like Trippy Red?
Is there somebody from New York right now that would? Because I'm also thinking there's always going to be that regional aspect of it too. Like there's
Oh
always going to
well,
be people from different coasts
there's
that are going to pull.
there's young bulls in New York, like the drill young bulls. Like they're drilling.
But is there anyone who's got some substantial time in the game? Obviously not as long as Drake and them,
Nah,
but it's
bro.
like from the West Coast or from New York.
Well, there's
Uh,
people, but like they're under their umbrella. Like there's people that's signed to TDE. Like Reason, you put me on the Reason. Like
love his stuff.
we
Yeah,
love Reason, but like he doesn't sell enough. Da 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 da.
too
Did he
niche,
get
too
dropped from
niche.
TDE?
That would be crazy. I don't think so.
Okay, because I think he said something about it. This people didn't like that they tried to drop him from TDE, or that was his Twitter. Twitter is crazy. Um,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know who's in the big three after these
might be
guys
too
because
soon
like
because they're still
it's too
here.
soon. Right. Who's gonna get these guys out of here?
It could have been Kanye, but he's not there.
Kanye's
He's
too
not
old, bro.
he's not there. See, but he is old,
No,
but
so like
Kanye
I
still
say,
has
okay, go
that
ahead.
pull and that
Yeah,
reach, and that never went away, and it's so crazy. That I think he just transitions. Like he just made a lateral move from where he was pulling his energy and people from, and now he does work way more with like newer artists, younger artists. But that keeps him always relevant because he will always have those favors. Like, oh, remember I helped you start. Remember I threw you those
yeah,
beats. Like he's going to forever be kind of a stepping stone to help a lot of artists start. Some people will say it's vulturing. People were saying the same thing about Drake.
right.
But the
That's so
artists who
like
are getting those features don't feel like it's vulturing. I'm a new artist. I've been here for 2 years and I got Drake on my album. I don't care
right.
what you call it. I don't care that you call him a vulture.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand this narrative of that, but I only say and I give you pushback on Kanye because he was here during the Jay-Z era, during the
Right.
50 Cent era. Like he had his time. If he
Mm-hmm.
pops up and makes a run during these times, it's just a legacy act at this point. Like he's not one of the front runners. He's not new anything. So
Right.
I would say a vintage act. Like he's been in the game for a long time. And I'm not taking away from his talent, credibility, or impact because he has all those in spade. But like we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about the new school. So like we have to give some of these guys a chance. And I just think like which is hard to deal with and accept, is that like if you don't have a single these days, you ain't getting far in hip hop.
Nope.
Have you listened to the new Future single?
No. Actually, after the two albums he dropped with Metro, I have not.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Future should take a break, man. Like I didn't
It's
like
not
it.
good. It's not
I
good.
didn't like it. I didn't
I,
like it,
I
bro.
honestly,
What's up?
I've been falling off of Future for a while. And it's funny. I seen this interview that little was it 2021 did where he was
Mhm.
talking about
Oh
it's so
yeah,
crazy where people would think are big. They're like, oh, if you was in Atlanta, you wouldn't know that Drake is bigger than Future because we play all Future
yeah.
stuff in this. So I was like, that's an interesting narrative. This like depending where you are, like you could
It's
be
region.
super popular, but we're going to play this person more, which is good to have that support. But it's like, yeah, I'm not feeling Future recently.
I'm not jacking the region bias though, right? Like
Yeah,
everybody, West Coast got bias, East Coast got bias, South got bias, everybody got bias. So like it's cool that he's getting played there, but we're talking about the worldwide stage, and that is
and
further. So
it's not a hit for a lot of people.
yeah, New Gun is fire. The tracks I like, you know,
The tracks,
Gunna. That's what I'm saying. Some of these albums, I like. Some of these songs I don't like. Some of these albums I don't like. like I don't think Gunna's an album guy. You know, I think he's an
He might be a
EP
feature.
feature. I love an EP from Gunna. Like he can give me like 6 EPs. I wouldn't mind that because like
Right.
it doesn't get stale, but like it's certain flows and stuff that it just gets stale. And like even with Drake, right? Like if the album's like super bulky, right? Like Scorpion, it was bulky, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bulky as fuck, double disc album. But there's real music there. Like
Right.
real music, either R&B, bars, like some substance
And that's
within
back
it.
when he was more exploring, right? Like that was in the
Yeah.
middle of Drake exploring. So we had a good 4 year span where we were just getting a new Drake every year. Like
Yeah.
he was just like, I'm this,
Yo,
I'm trying this. It was a good
if
time.
you read this too late, Drake, it's crazy, man. It was a
Yeah,
good
it
time.
was man, fire
Good time.
music, fire music. I do think, and I like that you said that. I do think artists need to adapt and find their lane with
Yeah.
what type of way they want to release. I never thought it was as important, but as you said, like you got to know who you are. Some like Ty Dollar Sign is a feature artist, and
Yeah.
we're not mad. We're not mad.
I'm
He's going
not
to drop a
mad.
feature. I don't think he's ever he hasn't. Bro doesn't have bad features. He'll drop a feature, maybe drop a single. Doesn't need to drop an album, and that doesn't matter. He can still be successful. Some people need to be EP artists and just yo, I'm
Mhm.
gonna give you 4 or 5 songs. I collect enough of those EPs. I can go on tour and I can just sing the good songs on his EPs and not have to worry about, oh, I gave you 15 songs and you like 3 of them. Like I don't
That's
have to
what I'm
waste the time
saying.
in the
If
studio.
I leave an album with 3 great songs and it's 22 tracks,
It's an
I'm
L.
cool. I'm
No,
cool, bro. I'm
that's
cool. You know what I'm saying? They be like, yo, you love the album? Like, I love some tracks.
I
You know
love
what I'm saying?
some.
Like,
I downloaded track 1, 4, and 7, and I stopped listening
yeah,
to the rest.
that
Like,
was it. I was like, and listen, people say the two future albums that came out were classic. Me, nah.
mm, yeah,
But like there is a hard ass song on there. Like, oh man, it was hard. I'll send it to you. That song's
yeah.
hard as shit.
I'll
I'm
have
like,
to listen to,
with
and
Rick
it's
Ross
nice
on it.
to pull those. I think Ross also needs to devolve into a feature artist.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Ross has had the same flow for a long time. He's kind of like in the Pusha T range for me. Like we're talking about shit, and we're like 40, damn near 50, talking about this same shit. Like you still selling drugs at 50, Push?
But
You know what I'm saying?
he has like Ross to his credit, Ross has greatly perfected that persona and that vibe to his music, and
Oh, the
his music will
boss.
always
Yeah.
have a place in a scene. Like you play it and you want to lean back in your car and just drive slow and relax, and he'll always have that vibe. I think if Ross can stick to like, hey, throw me an R&B artist as to do the chorus on a song, give me a nice beat, a classic beat, and he'll be able to do good. But I don't know if he's going to be able to keep making albums because, as you said, what are you still talking about?
Right, like this is subject matter for me. Certain artists, certain subjects. I'm like, all right, bro. And even if you are still involved, bro, I don't want to hear from a 50-year-old man. Like, I'm not really here for the dope bars from Hove either. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I like when Jay Z's beefing with the FBI. I'm like, how long is Jay Z?
Like when I listen to G, I want knowledge. Like I want to learn. I want knowledge. Please, like teach me how to
Bro,
evade
Jay
my
Z, when Jay
taxes.
Z come on, you take out a notebook and be like,
Yeah, generational wealth. Give my kids a meal. Dodge this
OJ.
tax credit. Like, yeah, I want that. I want that from him. And I think that's important though. You should. I think Jay Z has done good on showing people how you can evolve on which stories you're
I
telling. Like
think he's
he
the
still
only
has.
artist that really matured with his music
Mhm.
every time he released. Like, I mean, we can say this about even our top three: J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. They've all still been struggling with the same things.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I drink and I cheat and
Drake's wait. J. Cole stopped cheating on his wife 6 years ago, bro.
yeah.
I'll never forget that bar, bro. That's a Hall of Fame
Yeah,
bar,
that
right?
was like, I'm like, do y'all play these for your girls when y'all go put
Right?
these
Like,
out? Because she's like,
how does the
did
family feel
she
about this shit?
did she
Like,
know that you were cheating on her that long?
6 years ago, found out
Mm.
that you is the hoe.
Yeah, like what do you do? Like I know it's a fire bar, but at the end of the day, you put these bars on. You got to sit with her
Oh,
on the couch and be like, yeah, we've
bro,
been together 10 years, but I stopped cheating 6 years ago.
6 years ago, like that four though, like that four was great
He's like, but why do we gotta talk about it? That's in the past.
because it's playing right now.
You're going on tour rapping it. Like every time I hear that lyric, she's probably sick to her stomach. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's
bro, a
crazy.
lot of therapy, man.
But
Oh,
Jay-Z's no bad. I mean, Jay-Z cheated too. So what do we
nah, man, not my goat.
But what did they do? Him
Nah,
and Beyonce made a billy off that dang there. They dang what
yeah,
they dropped
yeah,
2-3 albums just off of
yeah.
that cheating.
Just off that shit. Yeah, the
2-3
cheating
albums, a
albums,
tour. Like
the cheating tour.
she said, if I'm gonna cry, at least I'm gonna be a billion up off of these
Crying is
tears.
Bugatti.
Yeah.
Crying in the Bugatti,
So
man.
I ain't even mad. Glad they worked that out.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Carter's, man.
You know what would be crazy if someone
What?
ever tried to like look a
What?
diss album against them, a diss
Nah,
song against them,
you can't
crazy.
diss. You can't diss Jay-Z. Only person that got like, I mean, all right, Nas got away with that one, but
Mhm.
like that
Today,
was
like trying to
Nas.
do it against him
You
and
know?
Beyonce, like the Carters,
Yeah,
like yo,
yeah.
social
That,
suicide.
that's crazy. And like, Jay-Z got way too much money, bro. His goals are a little different. Um, Quality versus quantity, bro. It's always going to be quality. Quantity is also a good thing. Now, you said something in the group chat we got to talk about.
What?
You were talking about Kendrick's telling Drake that it's not about how much you sell, it's about the quality of your work.
Oh
But my
yeah,
my rebuttal is that Drake has quality music on his tracks and his albums.
absolutely.
I never left an album from Drake saying, "Oh man, this thing was entirely trash." I left confused once. Oh, if honestly, never mind.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready for that. I needed to like
play
dance,
it
like,
back. Exactly.
like I had to like, cause I was, a rap album dropped and waiting for bars the whole time, right? And I'm like, why is this man? He's not even singing to me. This beat's too up tempo. It's not even R
Yeah,
and B. You know what I'm saying? It
it's
was
a dance,
electronic. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
house, like it was bubbly shit, and I had to get used to it. But now I fuck with
right.
it.
And to some
It took me a minute
to
too.
some people's credit, it's like as a fan, you can try. The biggest scare I think of an artist is to be pigeonholed by his own fans into
Yeah,
staying in one lane. And Drake has successfully been like, and I think he had to condition us, right away. People are like, when
yeah.
he first started doing things, people are like, we don't want to hear this. This is dumb. A lot of artists will
They
never
called him
switch
soft.
because they're scared if I switch out of this lane, then no one's gonna want to hear me listen, all this stuff like that. Drake had to be like, yo, this is what I'm doing. I don't care if I don't like it at first. Now we're conditioned. Drake can drop 4 different types of music in one album, and we're gonna be like, oh, this is just Drake. But we
Mm-hmm.
had to get conditioned on that over a 6-8 year span of time. It's just like and he can be versatile as an artist. We still
New
don't allow
year,
other artists to do that.
new accent. You
Yeah.
feel me? Shout
Where
shout out.
where can he even go next?
We don't know, bro. I mean, he even got the Spanish box when he sang
He
in
do.
Spanish that one time. I was like, yo.
Yeah, he got a bunch of stuff. He got this song called with Romeo. I forget the full dude's name, but I listened to it. I was like, oh, this is fire. But where else is he gonna go? Right? If he pull out some like Japanese or Korean, like he gotta get a good at K-pop one
Hey,
next. That's
hey,
gonna be
if he go
fire.
K-pop, that's gonna be
That's
crazy.
gonna be fire. If Drake go
They
K-pop,
be like, he was never hip hop. He was never hip hop. He K-pop. Like that's how it's gonna go.
if he pull out with a K-pop track, I'm like, yo, Drake, you
Oh
claimed it.
man,
Like you got it. But I'm not mad. I think the diversity is great, and I think we should open up as people that possibility of being like, hey, you don't just have to succeed here. Like I know other people historically have been like, oh, I didn't work out in America, but I'm gonna go tour in like the Philippines and in Asia and Europe and places like
right?
that because people like me there, even though it's harder to get that reach. But like collabing with other big artists and names internationally is a new avenue of money, even if you maybe aren't making it in your region or your
Hometown,
spot where you're at.
yeah.
Like, yeah, work on that. There are other people who may feel your vibe,
I
even if your
mean,
reach isn't
I
here.
like the marriage between UK grime and New York drill. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. Every time they work together, I think they need to keep that going. Um, bro, what's your thoughts on the state of R&B these days?
I seen some. I
What you see,
seen
man?
this.
What you see?
I don't think it's. I've transitioned from thinking R&B was my main thing, and now I've moved more
Mhm.
into soul because I don't necessarily love where current R&B is.
Well,
Um,
okay, we can talk. All right, I can go off. But go ahead.
No, because
All right.
I do split those. I know some people are like soul and R&B or whatever like that.
Yeah.
I do separate them. I think the current state of R&B is toxic, and maybe I'm just young, and maybe it was always toxic.
Nah, nah. But yeah, yes,
Yeah, it's like, could you
yes,
go
and
back and
no.
listen to some of them other
Yeah,
lyrics and other songs? You're like,
yeah,
I remember singing this in the car with my mom, and now you like, wait, mom, why was you cleaning the house to this? Because this is
yeah,
what was you really trying to say? So you
yeah.
do
What
got
was you trying to say to him? What was
yeah,
going on?
you gotta listen to some of them, and maybe it was always, but I don't know, maybe it was more raw, maybe it was different, but now this is just like
Yeah, bro.
it's not a
I
hit.
mean, listen, we got a lot of ski mask crooners these days. You know, I you can't talk about love in a ski mask to me, sir. I just want to not be so desensitized to that.
Like you want to be a lover
Like,
boy and a game banger, and you know what? But
just
that if that's what the ladies
yeah,
want, right? If that's what the appeal
that's
is,
what they want. That's what
that's
they
what the
want,
ladies
bro.
want. I seen this post on Instagram. This girl was like, dudes ain't even begging in their songs anymore. Like,
Nah, I mean, you listen to Brent Fayez, man. He's like, come on, you not ready?
she ain't
Come on,
nasty, don't at me. You feel me? Like,
come on, man. I already set it up. He said he didn't even live in spots. He just live with women. Where he's it's like, yeah, I just live with shirties. I was like, you know, got a crib. I was like, I'm sure he had
and
the
I
crib,
think
but like that
R&B
shit
is
was funny.
R&B is powerful because I think R&B created the narrative for romance in our community, and I think it
Hmm.
had that tool, and this is what love is supposed to look like, and all this for the good
Yeah.
and the bad. And so, if that's what the tool of R&B was supposed to be, well, if I
Hmm.
listen to R&B now, and if it's still that same tool, I'm scared because
Oh yeah, nah, it's just pleasure based, bro. Everybody's just trying to get theirs, man. The shorties are trying to get theirs. They're calling men eaters, guys. It's getting crazy. It's getting crazy, man. I listen to this. I'm like, oh no. Nah. So like, I feel you on the soul shit. Far as like, I listen to Ari Lennox.
yeah.
I listen to her. I listen to Georgia Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to a lot of R&B acts. What is the girl's name? I Want You Around. Oh my god.
Snow Allegra.
Snow
No,
Allegra.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
we need more of that out here.
Hey, I got it all because definitely the Jordan Smith. That's fire.
Yeah.
It just
I mean, there's some shirties on I mean OVO got it locked down as far as R&B. Like we got
obvious.
Party Next
Yeah,
Door, Division, Roy Woods.
I wish Division would drop more. I mean, everything he's dropped has been fire,
It's
and
been
like
great.
he
Yeah.
drops, I'm downloading the whole album. Like there's not one thing on there that I'm not. I hope he doesn't do a transition though, because I think Division's on a real fine line of turning into a Brent.
Yeah.
And some of his
Oh,
stuff, and
Brent's
I'm
the
like,
fucking listen, Brent has everybody turned, bro. You listen to the new Bryson Tiller, he's in a ski mess.
is he?
He's in a ski mess. He went from don't to ski mess. Okay. Don't. All right. And
Right.
you know, look, the song's fire though. You go ahead and
No,
listen to
no, 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 no,
Bryson
no, no,
Tiller,
no.
whatever she
Whatever
wants.
you want, I
That's
have it.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that
I ain't
shit's
watched the
hard.
video, but I got the song.
Oh yeah, the video's crazy. Ski
But yeah,
masked
that's
up.
what I'm like. We're too. Are you an RB or are you a rapper now? Because like, what are
Right.
we?
It's hybrid. It's hybrid as fuck. Right. I mean, Chris Brown kind of leaded that way as far as like an R&B act with a hip hop attitude. So I'm not obtuse to it. I'm just seeing it. You feel
Is
me?
Drake the opposite? Is it Chris Brown an R&B act with a hip hop attitude, and Drake was a
And
rapper
Drake's
with a
with a
yeah
R&B. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, listen, 50 Cent say that like you know people hate on Drake for the singing, but the singing helps him stay longer.
facts?
You know what I'm saying? It take a long time for Kendrick to cook up those bars, bro. You think that 12-minute song, that Duckworth song, you think that shit just came out of nowhere? Yeah, he was talking to his whole family tree. So what happened? Yeah, no. Tell me what happened to
So
that.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
a
yeah.
different perspective. Yeah, yeah. You know,
You could go a
Cole's out
melody in
here.
a track, and he could sing. He could sing for 3 minutes about.
Yeah. Some shirty. Like it is. He constantly meets shirties. That's his whole job nowadays. He just
Which is
meet
like,
shorty,
which
like
is
looking for the
cool.
inspiration. But like, yeah, that's why I mean. Listen, the bar's gonna take a while if it's substantial. I mean, Earl Sweatshirt. He's been. He has a great like release rate now, but
Hmm.
you know, with writers and rappers and artists, like he recently lost his father, so like
Mm.
that's the ignition. So like, I don't want people to lose people to get on that
to
bag
be able to do that. Yeah, no,
to
that's but
create at that level.
it doesn't. The music doesn't always have to be
Pain.
spawned from trauma or pain or anything like that. And I think we have to find a way to evolve. I think the best positive evolution of hip hop would be for us to be able to tell stories that don't involve us having to have been traumatized to do it.
Yeah, I don't want to just like, I want to hear about the kid who just went to art class. I mean, listen, art, you know, we love Tupac, but he went to school. He was in ballet. He was an actor. All the things we hate on Drake for, it don't make sense in totality when we start making like actually adding the facts behind people's backgrounds and shit. He wasn't from the West Coast, so like these things are reality versus
People
the
hate on people. Oh,
fabrication.
he got a nose ring.
Yeah,
He's like you talk about the homophobia. He got a nose ring. He this and that. Your man Pac had a
nose ring
he had it right there. So
right there. You got the bandana on right now. Like you got to cut it out. Um, who's your top 5 rappers of 2024?
2024. Cole. It's still so like so. I'm gonna say my fourth and fifth because like
Okay.
my top three is not gonna change. I'm still gonna listen to their music. Um, Mexican OT,
Really?
fire, fire.
Yeah,
Cannot
no,
get
no.
his music out my head.
I listen to him.
Cannot get his
Mexican
music out
OT's
my head.
hard. Mexican OT's hard.
And if I had to give it to a fifth, I don't know. I think that I don't know. There's no one really in that spot. I listened to those four. I've kind of been devolving back into like classics more so than listen to a lot of new stuff. Like I took a break from listening to a
Yeah,
lot of new stuff just because like I wasn't feeling the energy of where it was. And pretty much for this year, but we're in the 5th month, but for the since March until now, we've been in the beef territory. So
yeah.
that took up a big portion of what we've had so far.
I haven't listened
Um,
to a lot of new acts at all, and I've been like, I used to be on point far as that, but like, I feel you on that.
yeah. So
Um,
who's yours?
far as my top 5, Drake, Kendrick, J Cole. Sometimes I can switch J Cole for Kendrick, Kendrick for J Cole, depending who's
Mhm.
dropping. Right, actually, as of late, we have to put Kendrick at number 2, just because he's dropping more than Cole. And what Cole did, he kind of backed up from it. Um,
Even so, here's my thing with that.
okay,
Even with that album, like yeah, he's hotter right now. Kendrick is obviously hotter right now.
Kendrick's hotter right now. Yeah,
But I say in 2 months, if neither Drake nor Kendrick drop in 2 months, I'm still going to be playing Cole's. I might delete later. Like I'm still going
I
to be playing that.
listen, bro. I know Cole's at peace, and I said it was cool that he backed out, but like hip hop wise, it's not cool, bro. It's not. Like, I'm sorry, bro. You can't go to the barbershop with that type of talk. You can't go to the barbershop with peace, bro. You know this. People are screaming about LeBron and Kobe right now at the shop right now. Like it's no peace there. So
It's
the
cool.
J.
It's
Cole backing
well,
up like that, it's gotta be him in the 3rd spot. I'm talking to somebody else, like, and just on the hip hop level. I'm not talking about content quality. Hip hop
right.
level, he's put himself at 3rd place because at
We're
least
backing out.
Kendrick and Drake battled. And you can like whoever you like, whoever won in your eyes, and this and that. Because we're not talking about the facts. Facts don't matter.
We're
Allegations
just
don't
talking
matter.
about yeah. If
Yeah,
we're excluding the content of the music and just that, yeah.
yeah,
Because if we're talking about the content of music, I'm always going to say Cole won because guess
yeah.
who don't got allegations against him right now? Like that's a
Yeah,
W.
yeah,
Like
no,
that's
he has a great life right now.
he's like that's a W. What
Home
did you do
life
to
is
win?
great.
I didn't have the FBI knocking at my door. Like that's all I
Right.
needed to catch the W.
No pictures with the
Uh,
wife yet. Like it's
yeah.
just
So in that
get
aspect,
going.
okay, yeah, I would put Cole third in that. But if they don't drop this summer, if those other two don't drop this summer, then technically the only person
Kendrick's
who's dropped an
dropping this summer.
album. So we'll get that. So Kendrick's dropping this summer. I know Cole is still dropping another album this year.
Drake
Uh,
is hinting that he's going to drop this summer.
so if we get
Get
all
all
three
three.
of them in 1 year, hey, I don't.
It comes down to quality at that point.
Yeah, because no one
And
else
then
will say anything.
my 4 is Earl Sweatshirt. My 5th has to be who do I listen? Oh, Core. Core's from Philly. I listen to a lot of Core.
Okay.
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of Core, listen to a lot of Earl, and now listen to the top 3. This is what I listen to on a daily if I'm not looking for anything else. Who's your top 5 far as R&B?
R&B is gonna be he's not he's in top 5 in my mind right now. Maybe later he won't be,
Yeah.
but Party's up there just because like his album just came and
Yeah.
I've been enjoying it. And Party really doesn't drop a lies. Another person who's usually locked in a sweatshop. So when Party comes out, I'm
Working,
gonna
man.
listen. Party Division is always going to be up there. Just like consistently, I think like Division got classics just stacked on top. If we're looking at his stuff, Chris
Who's
Brown.
bro that put yeah, Chris Brown? Well, I don't know. So I never like listened to a lot of Chris Brown. I can't lie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I still go play Chris's old stuff like
Now, I mean,
every
of
week.
course, wall to wall. You know, excuse me, miss. I saw you from across the room. You know what I'm saying? We grew up on that. People try to play that off. Like we try to do that.
Like he may be looking a little off nowadays, but like I'm still going to shoot. And then even him making a rap diss, I was like, Chris, hey, you might as well drop a rap album.
Right. He can rap. He's just a talented motherfucker, bro.
He can. SZA,
of course.
SZA is going to always be there for me. And a fifth, Coco Jones.
Coco Jones. Oh, the shorty from Bel Air. Yeah.
Yeah, that was just because her music been on. That's great stuff. Her single's still up there. So
try to get me in trouble. Top 5 for me. Top 5 for me. Daniel Caesar.
Okay.
Definitely second SZA. Third, I'll have to put Party. I also have Majid Jordan up there. I really like Majid Jordan. He's on OVO as well.
Okay.
He's really good. I love his music. And then fifth, you gotta put Bryson Tiller. I'm a big Bryson Tiller fan.
Really?
I'm a big Bryson Tiller. Like, Nevermind This Interlude is like still like one of my favorite R&B songs. I got a little R&B playlist when I write. You know, when I was younger and I was up in Penn State with you, I had a playlist. Like after 9, we was listening to all R&B. You know, we start the day listening to all the rap.
Yeah.
9 to 12
ease your mind at night.
Gotta take a chill. But this has been another episode of Music and Men. My co-host Dre. We broke down everything today. You guys have a good one. Thank you for everybody tapping in. And then let me download this shit real quick, bro.
You good.